Welcome back to the show, everybody. I'm Gina.
And I'm Evo.
Happy Friday, everybody.
Happy Friday.
Yo, we had a long day. We're actually recording a lot later than we usually do. So I'm just going to give everybody a warning. If I sound like I'm half asleep, it's because I'm half asleep, ladies and gentlemen.
We still got to get the show in, so
yeah,
the show must go on.
But I want to take a quick second to thank my husband for these wonderful cups that he got us that say Shit Talk Fridays on it.
We are officially a talk show now.
Yeah,
I feel like it's not official until you have your own mug. I don't know. It's my own thing. It's an unwritten rule. So for the rest of y'all, you're slacking.
Oh, what? Oh my God. I actually love mugs. I have to stop myself when I go to like the secondhand store, the thrift store, from buying mugs, because I'd be like the old lady in the aisle looking at the mugs like, oh, look at this one with the kitty on it.
You know, I was never really a mug person, but
I am.
I do have a couple that I do love. But I can see how they are. I can see how people get addicted to them.
You just added to our little collection here.
Yeah, no, I really like these.
So today's topic is actually part 2 of our topic last week. So last week we talked about lies that men tell. So today we're going to talk about lies that women tell. And obviously I'm going to be the one dishing that shit.
Yes, you are.
Last week when we chopped up some of the episode and put it out into social media, we got a lot of feedback. And I will say that people had a lot to say about some of the lies that Evo told, especially the one about guys just asking to put the tip in. The comments were straight down the middle. There were a lot of people that were completely appalled by that shit. And then there were a lot of people that just kind of chalked it up to being something that young men will do and is stupid. Yeah. And some girls were just kind of like, yeah, some guy tried to pull that shit on me and it's whatever. But there were some people that were like, oh, that's gross. Yeah. So I thought it was so interesting how polarizing those comments were, considering that you told it. And when you told the lie, it was, kind of like a harmless thing in your mind. Well, and it definitely didn't come across that way to some people.
Yeah, I guess the clip didn't really illustrate it the way that the full clip was. But I mean, I painted it and I explained it in a way where it was in a perfect setting. It was a very, two people, two consenting adults. Well, that word slipped my mind as I'm like going through the comments right now in my head, and it's like throwing me off because they were crazy. I explained it as two consenting adults, in like a perfect scenario, very innocent, nothing hostile, nothing like that, and
just trying to navigate having sex.
Yeah, just trying to navigate having sex, and people just they heard what they wanted to hear. It was amazing to see that men and women were on both sides as far as whether they thought it was disgusting or they thought that it was okay. And so I learned a lot from that, because I was talking about something that was my own experience, and I didn't realize that there was such different extremes, on that topic.
So interesting that you say that you were talking about it from your own experience. Some of the lies that I'm going to tell today that women will tell, some of these are based off of my own experience. Some of them are based off of an experience that I've had having a conversation with another woman. And some of them are based off of like conversations I've heard about other women type shit. You know what I'm talking about? Because, listen, we going to keep it real. Girls talk. Not that guys don't, because they do. But so I've definitely heard these things before. And I've actually myself have done these things before. In particular, the first one that I'm going to tell. So the first lie that I have that women will tell is, I had an orgasm. Or the slang version, I came.
What the fuck? Why would you do that?
So there's a lot of reasons why I would opt to use that lie. In the past, when I have used that lie, it is because I have been in a situation with a man where we've had good sex, or we are having good sex, and I'm enjoying it. I'm not disliking what's happening. He is just not, I guess you could say, hitting all the right buttons. Mm-hmm. But because I'm expressing that I'm enjoying it, in his mind, he's thinking that that is what is getting me to the point of climax. And it's not, because I think now you can confidently say that it takes a sort of a rhythm to get a girl to climax.
Yeah, I think that it's a learning process. You have to learn, there's certain spots.
Yeah, for sure.
Certain speeds and angle and pressure, that, do it for a girl or a woman. But I'm just...
Yeah, so I, because the experience was enjoyable, and then I get asked the question, did you orgasm or did you come, and to not make this man feel less than because the experience was enjoyable, I'll just be like, yeah, I did.
So, but why not say no? Why not say, I'm sorry, I didn't. Yeah. It was good though. Like, I really enjoyed myself. Yeah. But I didn't.
I've actually done that. And right. I will tell you where that type of confidence came in me later on. I will say that in my younger years, when I was having more casual sex and I was, exploring my sexuality, I didn't necessarily feel very confident to say to a man that I was experienced the situation with that I didn't. Because the way that I'm thinking about it is, okay, I'm enjoying this experience.
Okay.
I hope in the future to continue this. Even though men like to say a lot of the times that women are emotional, when you say something to them like, no, I didn't come, that will be a strike against their ego, and it can almost embarrass them, and it can make them not want to interact with you again. So if I say yes, and then the next time we come together, no pun intended, I then maybe feel a little bit more confident and a little bit more comfortable in the situation. I then may guide him. Because in the first couple of instances, I'm just still navigating him.
Okay. So you're saying the first couple of times you might do that.
Yeah, just to this is for me. I can't speak for every woman because I can tell you right now.
I feel like that's a high expectation for a man to put on himself, to think that he's going to make a girl come, the first time that they have sex.
I would agree with you, but in my opinion, there are reasons why men put these type of expectations on themselves. And I think you and I in the past have talked about the way that sex is almost proposed to men when it comes to women. Like, if you were to look at porn, there's always this dynamic where the girl is easily achieving climax, or on TV you see that the girl and the guy are achieving climax together with like almost no foreplay. So I think sometimes young men may go into it thinking that, yeah, I can do this because I see it happen so often in other instances.
I don't think that's it.
Okay.
Honestly, I'll be honest with you. I think a lot of guys don't give a fuck in the beginning. Like, they're when they're having sex with girls, it's purely for their pleasure. And I think that they'll ask, they feel great. Hey, did you come? And all of that. Like, did you at least get there? I mean, I know I put in no effort for you. Like, I was there all for me. But like, it'd be nice to know if you came. Like, I think that's how that question comes out.
Oh.
So I feel like that saying that, yeah, I came is it's a huge disservice to the relationship as far as.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but that is if you're in a relationship.
Yeah, if you're in a relationship, right? So if it's not a relationship, then why lie?
Because of what I just said previously. Maybe you want to continue having casual sex with this man. So since you're still navigating the in and outs of how you are enjoying and liking to have sex with this person, then you may just use that white lie in the beginning to then further the sexual relationship. So that maybe like the third or fourth time around, you're a little bit like more comfortable with this man and feel like, okay, I can let my inner She-Hulk go and guide him to get me to climax.
I get that.
Damn. Even though I think, now that is based off of my experience. That is how I navigated through from first instituting that lie to then going to be more comfortable into saying to a man, no, listen, I didn't climax. I still enjoyed myself. I still really liked what we did. But if you're looking to get me to reach orgasm, there's other things that have to happen. Yes, that happened later on in my life. But what I will say, what I find interesting is that 70% of all heterosexual women are not achieving orgasm. So that's women having casual sex, women in relationships, women in marriages. So since I'm only speaking from my perspective, which is how I went through my journey, I know that there are women out there that are in long-term relationships and marriages that are still using this lie, even though they're with a partner that they've been with for a long time and they've had that time to like lay down that foundation.
And they just haven't.
You know, Yvonne, I'm not sure if it's that they haven't. I know that there have been women that I have spoken to that they have said, hey, if we can we do this way? And they'll put it out there, but that doesn't mean that they're going to receive it.
I got a message for all the guys out there. Okay.
A what?
For all the guys out there.
Oh, I didn't know what was the first thing you said.
Yeah, I said I got a message for all the guys out there. Do yourself a favor. Make it your number one objective as far as having intercourse with a woman, to figure out how you can make her come. Because there's one thing that men like, right? I mean, and I'm speaking for myself, you know, but I just think that men generally like this is a very wet vagina.
Okay.
And there's something that happens when a woman comes or reaches orgasm that
shit is Hurricane Bay.
It intensifies that wetness, and it takes it to like tsunami levels. And so there's this moment where like you're in there and, you know, you're surfing, and then all of a sudden like, you just get hit with a tsunami. So like it's something that like I'm like at a loss for words. But all I'm saying is that every man should want to at least to get there, because it's worth it. Once you get there, you get way better sensation than you do when you don't make her come. Like, they're missing out.
Okay, Evo, I'm going to stop you right there. You're saying that because of your and I relationship and how we go about interacting when it comes to sex. I want to tell you this. There are a lot of men that have to wear condoms, Evo, and they're not going to get the same sensation. They're not going to get the same experience.
Yes, I understand that.
So,
I understand that.
But
I would like to think that, okay, so if
I think the message is maybe more geared towards people who are in long-term and practicing safe
yes,
sex. Yes.
Definitely if you're in a long-term relationship, practicing
birth control
safe,
or whatever.
Yeah, practicing safe sex. Because it is very difficult to feel any of that, you know, if you're wearing a condom. And I want to say that it probably is very difficult to make a girl climax if you're wearing a condom. No. Oh, okay. I never really thought about, because it's been such a long time since I've worn a condom. I'm sorry, it might be a little TMI, that I'm having a hard time even remembering.
I mean, there's nothing embarrassing. We have been married for a very long time.
Yeah, very long time.
We practice safe marital sex, whatever the hell however you want to categorize that.
Just condoms hasn't been a thing for way over a decade.
Okay.
But so like I almost forget that if that's something that you can even do while wearing a condom.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, okay.
The majority of women that are going to achieve orgasm are going to achieve it through stimulation of the clitoris.
Yeah.
That has nothing to do with a condom. So
gotcha.
I can give a message to men if they'd like. If you really want to get your girl to orgasm and maybe potentially not have to put in a lot of work when it comes to like the actual act of intercourse, going down on a girl and getting her to orgasm before you even interact, like penetration, fam, that is a great way to go.
Yeah. So I heard something,
and I will say this not just based off of my experience. I'm going to say this because I have groups of girlfriends and I've talked to many women. It's enjoyable because it then kind of takes the pressure. Okay, so there's like a two-part to this. It's enjoyable because then a man can then interact with a woman with penetration and intercourse and not have to make it extremely long trying to get her to climax. So if he wanted to, we talked about this before, there's like a sweet spot, like 3 to 7 minutes. He could go that 3 to 7 minutes and then he can finish and they both will be good. Unless the woman wants it done a different way, and she will have to vocalize that. But getting a woman to orgasm prior to having intercourse, I think that's always a good way to go.
That's one way to do it. And so, but as far as intercourse goes, and you can confirm this for me, so there's kind of like an analogy that I saw, that I overheard that should be helpful to men, is that when having intercourse, you really want to avoid this thing, right? Even though this
and for people that are just listening, Evo is clapping his hands together, and he's trying to demonstrate clapping that ass.
Well, yeah, clapping that ass, or even in a missionary position, just the pounding, right? And I think that this is something that like men thrive to do, like I beat it up, and all this other stuff.
Yeah.
So
I mean, that's also appreciated.
Yeah, it's appreciated, and don't get me wrong, there's pleasure in that as well.
Yeah.
But when we're talking about climaxing, docking to the woman's pelvis, right, and staying docked, right, and then thrusting, like a consistent thrust while docked is going to consistently rub the clitoris. Okay, so you're consistently rubbing the clitoris and penetrating at the same time with pressure. That's
a recipe. That is a recipe that you want to put in your back pocket.
Yeah, you want to put that in your back pocket, okay? And just know that it doesn't always have to be this.
Going hard.
Yeah, going hard. And I mean, again, that's great. Especially, it's great for passion, and and it all feels good.
And that's a perfect example of maybe an instance where you are having sex with a man and that's what's happening.
Yeah.
And let's say you're enjoying that. Let's say you want that,
Yeah.
Listen, every girl likes to get her. Okay, I'm generalizing. I don't want to say every girl.
Right.
Okay. But a lot of women that I know, they don't mind a little roughness, every now and then. It doesn't always have to be like that. So there can be instances where that roughness is happening, but then the girl doesn't reach climax. And then the guy is like, all in his,
exactly.
all in his ego, like, yo, girl, did you come? And I'm like, not really. But to my point, that's why if you were to get her to reach climax before you beat it up, then you can go in there and just be good.
You can.
That's just my piece of advice.
Speaking from my own personal experience, I just feel like that there's a different type of appreciation when you do it with penetration. When you don't have to, it's like you made you made your partner climax.
It's like double pleasure.
Yeah, you made your partner climax by having sex, rather than going down and performing orally. Yeah. So, and then the thing is that I feel like there's a disconnect because men generally that's how they climax is through the thrusting. Yeah. Again, I'm clapping my hands. So just know that you may have to take a break from that for a moment and dock up to the station real quick, and
I love this analogy of docking.
I think it makes perfect sense. When I heard it, I was like, you know what? Wow, that actually is a very simple way of explaining it to a man, and it's very easy to understand. So give it a try, guys. Let us know. Come back.
Yeah, come back and put it in the comments.
Put it in the comments. Give a thumbs up if it worked, and just put docking thumbs up.
I would also love to know if women also enjoy the pre-oral climax and then intercourse after. That would be, or actually I can put a poll. That would be interesting. All right, let's get into our second lie, or the woman's second lie. This one is a two-parter.
Okay.
So I'm just going to say what the lie is, and then I'm going to tell you how this lie can be told, and it can actually have more than two meanings, but there are primarily two reasons why this lie is told. And it's when a woman lies about being pregnant.
Oof. Whoa.
So I want to give you the two scenarios that this lie can be told in. The first scenario is a woman will lie about actually being pregnant. You know, she will not have any sort of pregnancy happening and will then tell her significant other that she is pregnant. The other way that this lie can be told is she is actually pregnant and she's hiding it from people.
Okay.
So, for example, let's say someone notices that she looks a little different, or, you know, she's got the glow, or her breasts look larger, or maybe she says something like, I'm nauseous.
Or I'm not drinking today.
Yeah, I'm not drinking today, or something like that. And then someone asks her, oh, are you pregnant? Or are you expecting? Or, you and your partner, and they say no, but they are. Because they potentially may have no intention on keeping that child.
Oof. Yo, you are hitting me hard with this one.
But no intention on keeping the child could actually be something that her and the partner have had a conversation about. But
I get
so
that.
That's why the lie can be told in two different ways. Or she can be hiding the pregnancy from family, friends, because it could have been a pregnancy that happened accidentally and she can't tell anyone.
There's a third one, and we're gonna get into it. But tell me explain to me why would a girl or a woman lie to a man about being pregnant?
All right, ladies, don't come for me for this. I'm going to give this based off of conversations that I've had.
Okay.
And just my overall life experience. There are a couple of reasons, but the two reasons that I've heard more than once, the first one is that a woman will tell a man that she's pregnant in hopes of keeping him so that he doesn't end the relationship. And then we'll turn around a couple weeks later and then maybe get her period and claim it was a miscarriage. The other reason why a woman will lie about being pregnant is to then get the man to give her money for an abortion so that she can use that money. And it's kind of like a get back at him tactic, because maybe he has ended the relationship and they separated on bad terms. Let's say maybe he cheated on her or something like that, and she's like, this motherfucker, oh yeah, I'm gonna get him. She'll then tell him that she's pregnant, and since he wants nothing to do with that, she'll say, well, then I need money for an abortion. She'll get the money and she'll use that for herself.
So riding on the back of that, we're gonna get back to what it is that you were talking about, because I have some, but there's girls that do it out there for hustle. They will hustle 4, 5, multiple guys on the same lie that they're pregnant and they need money for an abortion, and get that abortion money across multiple different avenues as a hustle.
And you've heard about this?
Yeah.
Or you've...
No, I've heard about this.
But when you say you've heard about it, like you've known somebody, like through the grapevine?
No, like this is something that came out like in like a news headline.
Oh.
Yeah. Like somebody.
Yeah, because I've known many women in my life, I'm in my 40s, so, I've had my teenage 20s, 30s to like come across many women and hear many conversations. And that's definitely something that I've heard of that women have done to get back at a man for maybe something that he has done.
Yeah.
Or they're getting some sort of revenge on him.
The fucked up thing is that the reason that it made the news headline is that because it's a criminal offense.
Oh my God, I didn't know that.
Yes, it's a criminal offense. So when you
is it like falsifying?
So I'm gonna tell you what it is right now.
Okay, thank you.
So when you fake a pregnancy for means of financial gain, it is theft by deception. All right? Wow. It is theft by deception, and there are people who will sell you fake pregnancy tests. Those people can get charged with conspiracy because they're pre-conspiring to aid someone to commit a criminal offense. Like these things that people don't really think about, that they think like, oh, this is an easy way to support a scam and blah, blah, blah. Don't really think about the depth of criminal offenses that they're creating.
Holy fuck, Eva, I'm fucking mind blown right now.
Yeah, and so anytime there's any type of financial gain, it's theft. It's theft by deception. There was another term for it. There's like, it can even be it goes as far as larceny.
Oh my god.
Yeah. I mean, and it depends. If there was like a lot of money involved, forget about it. You're talking about like high charges.
As I'm saying this lie, I'm gonna tell you right now, I was a little afraid to share this one because from my experience on social media, men love to hear this kind of shit that women do, because I think a lot of the times lies that men tell and dirt that men do, that shit gets aired out.
Yeah.
And not so often do you hear women talking about potentially, lies that women may, or, scams or schemes or whatever that women may do. And when men do hear this stuff, it's like a, yeah, I fucking knew it. Bitches be doing that shit. And it's like, they feel like it's almost like a point for them.
Nah, I don't feel that way.
No, not you.
Yeah.
I'm talking about.
Like I don't identify with that.
I'm talking about on social media. I've seen a lot of content where men hear about certain things that women do, like in this realm.
I could see that.
I was kind of afraid to share it because of that, because of the fact that I don't want men to think that because women do this, that this is like how all women are.
Here's what
you get what I'm saying.
Here's what I think, right? And this is just my personal opinion. I honestly feel that this is a woman's, like, this is their ultimate power. Like, men have their ultimate power over women. Men do shit to women that women just can't do because they're women, and men can do it because they're men. Yeah. And this is that woman's ultimate power. Like, I feel like that this is that flip red button, fucking DEFCON 5. Yeah. We're fucking nuclear. We're going to nuclear war. Mm-hmm. And I feel like at some point it was going to get there, considering all the shit that's happened in history.
And I completely agree with you on that. That's exactly kind of what I was getting at. So like when men hear this kind of stuff, they're like, oh, I knew it. This is the way women are, even though there's so many things that men do that are like the direct comparison to that. So like, for example, men can get multiple women pregnant at the same time. Like women can't do that. Yeah. So that to me is like the direct comparison, that a woman could use that as ammo to get some sort of like revenge on a guy, or a guy could do, like what I said, on the opposite end of that, he can get multiple girls pregnant at the same time. Yeah. So like, I was like a little hesitant to want to share that lie.
It is equally as fucked up as some of the shit that guys do. I mean, that to me is the, like, fucking at the top of fucked up shit that, a woman can do to a guy.
Yeah, I would agree that it is not something that should be played with lightly at all, especially because I think the reason that it is something that should not really be messed with like that is because, let's say for example, you and I are in that situation and I tell you that I'm pregnant and then I end up not being pregnant, and then you find out that it's a lie, right? That could really scar you, because let's say you were like happy about it and then it winds up not being the truth, and then you move on, you go into your next relationship, and then in your next relationship you and this girl then wind up conceiving potentially, and now you could then from that past experience be immediately on the defense.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think that if you can go to jail for it, it's pretty fucking serious.
Now there's one other situation about a girl lying about being pregnant that I said that there was two primary, right?
Yeah, you did.
The third one is when a girl will tell a guy that she's pregnant but it's not his. But guess what? She's not even sure if it's his or not.
Oh, this is one of those Maury situations, huh?
Yeah. So, excuse me. I knew somebody that went through this. I knew a guy that went through this, that had a girlfriend, an ex-girlfriend, that they were together at a point in time. And then once they separated, like a month or two later, she called him and was like, hey, I'm pregnant. And the math added up. And then come to find out, once the baby was conceived, that baby wasn't his. And she told him that she was pregnant because he was the better suitor.
Fuck, bro. That's fucked up.
Doesn't that sound like some Days of Our Lives type shit?
Yeah, that's just wrong in so many different ways. But if I had to sit here and like play devil's advocate, and really kind of like sit here and try to evaluate both sides, because you have to, you really gotta. I mean, I gotta sit here and wonder, like, coming from the girl's perspective, like, what would make her lie about something like that? What is she feeling that would make her take advantage of somebody and use them for her benefit because she can't deal with a mistake that she made?
So I'm gonna say this, and I'm not defending this girl. I don't even think the girl was sure who the father was, because the time frames were very close.
Right, but you said that she told the one guy because he was the better suitor.
Yeah, because the other guy was a casual encounter, and because it was such close in time, she told the one that she had been with more, in hopes of that was going to be the one, but didn't tell the other person.
That's a sticky situation, man.
Yeah. I'm not going to say that her intent was to take advantage of him.
Okay, because that's what it sounded like
I know,
in the
but
beginning.
I would say that I think, and I didn't know this girl well. I actually knew the guy better. Gentleman that I used to work with. And I actually think that the girl hoped that he was the father. But it was still a lie because there were two potential suitors.
Yeah, when you initially said it.
And when I say suitors, I sound mad old when I say that.
When you
there were
originally said
two potential fathers.
I immediately felt rage towards the girl.
Oh, wow.
Right? And I had to stop myself from feeling that way because
that's how I felt last week.
I realized that was pure emotion, and I wasn't thinking about the situation logically. And so stepping outside of my emotions and really looking at it from both perspectives, I started to like wonder, what it would be like to be in her shoes, and what would lead to the decisions that what was she seeing that made her lead to the decisions that she made, or what was she feeling, to get a better understanding and not feel so enraged, but more, I guess, maybe some empathy about what why. But now that you're saying that she really wasn't sure, it kind of makes sense. Yeah.
I mean, that's what I was told, because, I'm getting that information from the guy that I used to know. But I will tell you this, he took that shit with stride, because in his mind, he was like, okay, the timeline's up. This potentially could be my child. I'm not with her, but I'm going to be in this kid's life. But then when it came out that this child wasn't his, he really didn't have like animosity towards her. He was just kind of like, all right, well, my hands are washed of this. Yeah. I will say there was a little bit of sadness because he did take part in some of the prenatal care that was happening with her. But I kind of salute him because he really took that shit.
I was just thinking the same thing, like, big up to this guy.
Yeah. That he just kind of was just like, all right, well, this is the situation and that's not what it is now. Then life goes on type shit. But the first example that I gave, which was a girl will say that she's pregnant and she will lie and say that she's pregnant to keep a relationship. I feel like that is the one that happens the most.
But why would a girl think that lying about being pregnant is going to save a relationship? Like, is that...
Because it's going to keep the man in her life no matter what.
But is that really healthy?
Oh, absolutely not. That's probably the most toxic fucking situation ever known to man.
Yeah, so...
But, Evo, you have to understand that sometimes people are going to use a Hail Mary.
I was just thinking about that. That's a fucking Hail Mary right there. That's like...
You're going to, sometimes...
When all else fails, just fucking...
Yeah. I'm going to tell you one thing that I learned from you, that not everybody is for everybody. When you and I dated the first time and then you ended our relationship, I then really approached dating very differently after that. If I dated a guy a couple times and I could tell that, this really wasn't my vibe, I was very open and honest with that man. hey, listen, I like you. You're cool.
Mm-hmm.
We had a couple of fun dates. I really don't see this going any further. So, I'm not going to go on any more dates with you. That not necessarily was the exact language that I used, but I was very real with them. So because I was able to kind of see things that way, it really prevented me from ever being in one of those situations where I liked somebody more than they liked me.
Mm.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And what I mean by that is like, if I ever got into the situation where I was dating a guy, right? And I liked him more than he liked me, but then he rejected me, I was okay with it. Mm-hmm. Because of the situation that I had with you, and then vice versa. So if I was ever in a situation where the guy liked me more than I liked him, I was very truthful with him. So when the rejection would happen to me, I was just like, all right, well, this is normal. This shit happens.
Right.
I personally think that there are times that women and men, but we're talking about women, that the rejection is just too much. That they have feelings so strong for someone, and that person, the feelings are not reciprocated. So then they will launch this Hail Mary of I'm pregnant, in hopes of reeling the man back in to keep them in that relationship, circle.
So what do you think is a solution to this? Like, what do you advise a man to do in a situation like this? If he's in a relationship it's on the rocks,
Mm-hmm.
It's just got to be toxic to some degree.
Yeah.
And as he's trying to end the relationship, or the relationship's coming to an end, she says, I'm pregnant. Mm-hmm. What's a man to do?
That's a really great question. Let me ponder on that for 1 second.
Does he go out immediately and say, all right, based on the fact that we're on rocky roads, like, I need to see a pregnancy test right now. Like, you need to pee on a stick right in front of me.
I think that's a little aggressive.
Okay.
I would suggest take her for her word initially and say, okay, let's go to an appointment together. That's it.
But doesn't that give her the opportunity to miscarry between that
and
point
and then it's over regardless. Because if you are suggesting, okay, well, let's go to the doctor, let's just see how far along you are, take her for her word. If she is, then there should be no objection to that.
Okay. Well, there you go. But there you guys have it.
But with no aggression.
Right.
Because if she is, she is. If she isn't, she isn't. And then you at that point you walk away from that shit. Like,
right. Yeah. You definitely want to get yourself out of that situation.
Yeah. You walk away from that. At that point, if she is not, then you are free and clear at that point, So that would be my advice to a young man. If you are feeling like what she's saying to you, it's lacking 100% truthfulness to you, like if you're sensing some sort of grayness in that, just ask to go to an appointment where you can fully solidify the pregnancy. Because women should do that. Once you do the at-home pregnancy test, your next step is to make a doctor's visit, to figure out how far along you are, just to start your prenatal care. So there should be no objection to that.
There you guys have it. Definitely follow up with that doctor's visit. It should be the first thing you schedule. Because I feel bad for guys that are in the situation. Thankfully, it's never happened to me. I've never had to deal with something like this. But I have had to deal with I'm going to hurt myself because I'm trying to leave a situation. And I feel like that those kind of are in the same ballpark. Like if and this girl that I was with, she really wasn't the type to hurt herself. Mm-hmm. But in this particular situation where the relationship, we were on the rocks and it was over. I think she had fucked up. So like I was really I'm like, fuck you, I'm out of here. Like, this is bullshit, I'm done. She went as far as saying, threatened to. I was leaving and I was walking out the house, and you can walk out of the house and look back and see her bedroom up on the second floor. And she was like banging on the window. Like, to the point where I felt like she was going to put her head through it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And so she made me feel like she was going to hurt herself. And I ended up coming back but stayed for a short while and made sure that I had an exit strategy, And so, and I did. It worked. I exited out of that situation pretty quickly after that.
I'm not going to say that I think that those go hand in hand, but definitely the trying to lure them back in thing.
Yeah, I said like in the same ballpark.
Yeah.
Like I feel like they're in a wheelhouse together of like things, extremes that a girl will go to try to keep a man in a relationship.
I don't know why when you said ballpark, I immediately thought about a hot dog.
Ew.
I'm going to tell you why. Because we got ice cream today at the Dairy Queen. And they serve hot dogs. And the guy came up and ordered a hot dog with like all of these toppings. And I was like, ooh, that sounds good. Because I like relish and all that kind of shit.
But just
I'm sorry. That was just a sidebar. But
I had a little bit of that Dairy Queen. And man, that was sweet.
Yeah. I don't know how our daughter and I, that's why I was like, let me share this with you.
We've been eating Cold Stone lately.
Oh, yeah, we got a little bougie. Cold Stone is where it's at, ladies and gentlemen.
Ever since I had Cold Stone, Dairy Queen is just like milk and sugar frozen together.
Oh, my God. It's true.
So sweet. I just can't believe that we used to eat that all the time.
Yeah.
And hot dogs, too. I saw something on the internet the other day where a guy like cut a sliver of a hot dog and put it underneath the microscope. And you don't want to know what I saw.
No, I don't.
I
can't tell you the last time I ate a hot dog.
When you mentioned hot dog, I was like, ugh.
But hot dogs used to be my thing once upon a time.
Oh, yeah. Glizzies. Shout out to Derek. What up, D?
Oh my God.
Yes.
All right, let's get into that was such a fucking I don't even know where that conversation went, and we're not even drinking. That's straight water in these glasses. So the next lie is not as intense.
Good. Oof. Thank you. I don't think I could take any more of that.
Yeah.
That was deep.
This one is
I think I'm sweating.
Oh my God.
I really feel like I am.
This lie is actually kind of, I think it's more in the innocent in the innocent realm.
Okay.
So it's I have a boyfriend.
Oh, all right. Yeah. I think every guy has heard this at one time or another.
So if every guy's heard this at one time or another, why do you think girls say this then? Because I'm always interested to know what a man thinks.
So I feel like that a lot of guys will, if there's a boyfriend, they'll immediately be like, all right, like there's no chance, but there are some guys that don't give a fuck either. Like they give two shits whether you have a boyfriend. Actually, if you have a boyfriend, now they want to know if you're a freak. Like it's like that's their cue. Like if she has a boyfriend, then find out she's a freak. And does she cheat on her man? That's the next angle. Yeah. Or is it an open relationship? Or like, or I don't mind type of situation. But in most cases,
I've definitely heard that before.
Yeah, in most cases, guys, they're looking for an interaction with a woman without another guy being involved. So when they find out that there's a boyfriend involved, they're just like, oh, okay, well, you have a nice day, and they'll just be quick to leave. And I can imagine that they will lie about this just because they don't want to be bothered for one. I mean, that gotta be one of many reasons. But please tell me some of the reasons why a woman would lie to a man about her having a boyfriend.
Well, it's not just to a man. A girl will say she has a boyfriend to other girls too.
Okay. All right. So just fine. So then to another person, why? Like, give me some of the reasons why.
Well, first and foremost, you hit it right on the head. Girls will use it to deflect other men.
Yeah.
We will say it because a man will approach us and try to be like, yo, girl, what's up? How you doing? Whatever. I got a boyfriend. Like, it's immediately.
Right.
We will use that just to get you away from us. But there have been instances where I've seen girls lie about having a boyfriend amongst other girls so that they don't feel left out. Oh,
shit. When you said that, I thought you meant like a girl hitting on a girl and her telling that girl that she has a boyfriend.
Oh, that too.
Yeah? All right. Yeah. That's kind of what came across when you said that.
You know what's funny, though? I've actually lied and said I had a girlfriend.
Oh, okay.
To get guys to really leave me alone. Like, I don't even like men.
That's the ultimate go fuck yourself.
Yeah. Okay? Penis don't even do nothing for me. Only 70% of women are getting orgasm. I need a girl to get me there.
Oh, man.
Yes. So girls will lie about having a boyfriend.
That's a good one, so they don't feel left out in the group.
Yeah. And I've even seen it or heard of it. I've heard it before. I've seen it go as far as a girl creating like a whole scenario.
Like a whole life?
Not a whole life. I mean, I've never seen it go that deep. But I've definitely seen it where it's like they talk about him, but you've never seen this guy before.
Right. So like she's like describing and continuously lying about having a boyfriend. Yeah, that's like a whole nother life. She has a life with somebody else.
You know, it's kind of it's interesting when you get into your older years, you know, your late 20s, 30s, and you know everybody's like having kids and getting married, and maybe you're just that girl that's still single. And then now you're starting to go to functions where, you know, this girl's engaged, this one's married, this one's got a baby on the way, or this whatever.
Now all of a sudden you're under the spotlight.
Yeah, like hey girl, what's up with you? And you're like, oh, I actually met this guy the other day. His name is such and such, and yeah, we went on a couple dates. It was nice. They're like, oh my god, really? Boom, the conversation, like the spotlight gets taken off of you. And then girls will then just continue the conversation. Yeah, we went on a couple dates. It was cool. Da, da, da. Completely fucking lying. And I will tell you that I can understand why this happens sometimes, because you just don't want to deal with the bullshit of being interrogated about your personal life.
Right. It's like if you don't have a boyfriend, something's wrong with you.
Yeah.
Right?
Like imagine I turned around and I was like, I actually don't fucking feel like dating anybody right now. I actually heard that your man's a dick. You know, like right. Sometimes I think that these are some of the thoughts that may be going through a woman's head when she's getting asked these questions, and to just not have to deal with that conversation, putting a lie out there is a lot easier.
Yeah. I mean, you know, for some people, just being in a relationship doesn't mix with their chemistry, you know?
Yes, I that's an interesting way of putting it though.
Yeah, you know why I say that, right? Because I'm thinking about how people react to certain things, and how if they're not susceptible to it, they won't consume it. Like the comedian with that, what he was talking about, like, you know, when you don't do something, it's okay, but when you don't drink, like, it's a problem, you know. And then he was like, you know, when somebody asks you, it's,
by the way, the comedian's name is Jim Gaffigan.
Thank you.
What he's talking about, he goes, is when you don't drink alcohol, everybody questions you. So like, let's say you're out at a bar and they're like, you don't got to drink, man. And you're like, no, I don't drink. And they're like, you don't drink?
Like, why?
Yeah. He goes, but if you don't eat mayonnaise, he goes, nobody ever questions you like that. Yeah. Like, you don't eat mayonnaise? Why?
But some people don't drink because it just doesn't sit well with them.
Yeah.
You know, and so certain people won't be in a relationship because it just doesn't mix well with them.
Yeah.
It doesn't mix well with their chemistry.
I also think sometimes it's just the getting someone off your back type shit.
Yeah.
So you could be lying to your friends, you could be lying to your family. You know, there are families where the women are constantly haggled about, do they have someone in their life? Are they dating? Are they seeing anyone? And sometimes a girl, and I've also seen this happen, a girl will say that she has a boyfriend, but she's actually dating another woman.
Ooh. Okay,
or dating men and women.
I can see why that would be. I mean, if you know, because if you find that your social circle won't accept you,
yes,
or the people closest to you won't accept you, then yeah, I mean, I can see why you're gonna lie about it. You generally want to be happy, but yet you don't want to disrupt, you know, the way people around you see you or feel about you. You know, you feel like it might cross. You know, I mean, I think that in a lot of cases, when a person feels that way, that their friends or the people around them are not going to accept them dating somebody of the opposite sex, they're generally going to lie about it.
You mean someone of the same sex?
Someone of the same sex. Thank you. You were sharp, man.
You know, it's these headphones. I can hear you so well, and I will say that one of the things that I've been really focused on is being a better listener, because I'm a horrible listener.
I'm glad you're able to admit that.
Yeah, I have no shame in that. I know for 100% that in our relationship, you listen to me a hell of a lot more than I listen to you. So I made it a point that when we started to do this show, I was like, I really need to listen to Evo, even on the smallest minute, which is how he's actually saying things, the words that he's using. I think the thing that I struggled with the most is interrupting.
Yeah.
But I just heard something the other day that made me feel really good about that. And it was a psychologist that said that sometimes when people interrupt, or if they do it frequently in the conversation, it's because they're really engaged in what's happening.
Yeah, I feel like that there's always some like There's always something that to justify some type of action and turn it into a positive. It's just, it's one of those things that regardless of how bad something is, there's somebody somewhere is saying how that is a positive.
Yeah.
And so I think that's what you're picking up there. But I do appreciate, your efforts into listening more now.
Thanks.
And it's a work in progress, the interrupting. And so we'll get there.
Yeah, but when we stop recording, I go straight for it.
Yeah, you do. For sure.
So my last lie, and this is something that I've known that this is something that I don't know if you've ever heard this before, but I know that women, we say this shit all the time, is I just like you as a friend.
Ooh, the friend zone.
Where in actuality, we're only saying that because we know that you like us and you want to pursue us as in a relationship, and that is the only way that we can get you to leave us alone.
Yeah, I've been told this, and I don't think that that's a lie. Is that what?
No, because we don't even like you as a friend either.
Oh, okay.
Like, we don't want to be your friend. We just want you to stop trying to pursue us as romantically.
Got you. So then why not say I just don't like you?
Okay, Evo.
Okay, so I guess that's a nicer way of saying I just like you as a friend.
No, okay. Yeah, it's a nicer way, but for you, the question that you asked me is why not just say I don't like you?
I mean, in a nicer way, of course.
Okay.
I'm not saying to be that blunt, because that's not. There's no It's not a very nice way to say it.
Well, okay. From my experience and from conversations that I have, men can sometimes be a little salty about shit like that.
Yeah, I get that.
So let's say the man that is trying to pursue you romantically, you work with him, you go to school with him, you're in the same environment consistently. If you then reject this man, you then now have to see this man potentially X amount of days a week. And if you hurt his ego in a way where he can then create an environment for you that is like problematic.
But wouldn't you say that to him? Like, how do you say to someone, I just like you as a friend, if you're not friends? I think, doesn't there like a friendship have to exist in order for you to like legitimately say, I just like you as a friend?
I think the thinking behind that, like the thought process behind saying that is like, there are some things about you that I like, but I don't see you as a boyfriend. Like I'm not attracted to you. That's the nice way of saying like, I'm not attracted to you and I don't want to date you. But at the same time, Evil, you have to understand, like in the beginning of the show, we talked about how girls are not taught to advocate for themselves. Girls are not taught to advocate when it comes to rejection to men.
Okay, so but couldn't you just say that you're not looking to be in a relationship right now? You're not looking for anything like that, and rather than lying about liking somebody as a friend? But
that could also be a lie. What if I am looking to date?
No, I get that.
Because if I'm single, what if I am looking to date? What if I am looking for something, a potential suitor, but I don't like you. And I just don't want to have to deal with the bullshit of being in the same workspace as you or the same school as you or whatever it is. And there somewhere down the line being some sort of problems created from that.
Right.
You're going to tell me that when you were in school or when you were in college, if a girl rejected a guy, then she instantly became a bitch? You've never seen that happen before?
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. So a girl will try to let down the guy lightly by saying, I know I like you as a friend.
Yeah.
So that no hostility comes from it.
But I could see a guy still being hostile. I could still see that backfire.
Yeah, but like we're hoping that will lessen the blow somewhat.
Yeah, I guess I get the lie. Kylo, you're going to have to I don't know what it is that you're trying to do right now. But
I don't think he knows what he's trying to do right now.
This is what he does. He starts getting real persistent.
Yeah, so like I've said this before, Evo, girls live in fear of men. So we sometimes have to try to soften a blow that we may get or the blow back.
Yeah.
So I know for you that you're probably looking at it very logical. Like, why not just tell him you don't like him?
I'm just trying to figure out a way to go about it, not really like without telling a lie. Is I guess that's what I'm trying to get at.
Evo, I feel you on that, but think about it even on a smaller scale. When girls are fucking catcalled or hooted at, and the girls are like, they don't acknowledge. They're like, all right, fuck you then, bitch.
Yeah.
You ain't cute anyway. Immediately it turns to that. Right. You ain't shit right after you don't acknowledge a man's advances. So women have given themselves these tactics of, I have a boyfriend. I like you as a friend. Of ways to remove the man from that picture without there being any hostility.
Right. Kind of
because we live in fear of men.
Yeah. It's like a way of neutralizing the situation.
Correct. And it's crazy to me that, I was on the train today with our daughter, and I was thinking about all of the things that I like have in my bag that are meant to keep me safe in case I get attacked by a man.
Yeah.
So like these, even though these are little lies, these little white lies are instituted for us to stay safe.
Yeah.
And to like not have to deal with the wrath of a man being fucking rejected. Even though it's little.
Yeah, no, I get it. And I understand it. It's just, of course, in my mind, I'm just trying to I'm figuring out there's got to be a different way. But
okay, so then if you think that there could be a different way, what do you think would be a good way for a woman to reject a man, his advances?
Well, I think that anything
that would be maybe better.
I think that anything that I say would be debatable,
Okay.
I don't have a solution. I'm just sitting here thinking there's got to be a better way.
Mm-hmm.
Only because it just sucks being lied to. I don't like being lied to, and so these are my personal feelings on what it is that you're saying. I don't even know if there will even be a valid solution to the actual problem.
Mm-hmm. But could you make at least one suggestion? So
well,
that
I mean, I did right. In the last one that you just mentioned, where, if a girl's being approached by a guy and she's generally not interested in him, that she would say, hey, I'm not looking. Look, I appreciate what you're saying, and kind of say something.
But what
nice.
if we don't appreciate it? What if we don't appreciate your advance?
Then maybe you want to leave that out. You want to leave that part out.
Can you see how sticky this can be?
Yeah, I mean, maybe so. No, thank you. I'm really not looking for anything at the moment.
I guess, but that's still, like I said before, that could still be a lie. Because I could be actively looking to date, but I'm just not interested in you. You see how that can sting? If I could just go, I'm actually looking to date, I'm just not interested in you.
Yeah.
How would you, I think about, what's the right wording for that? Without potentially getting my life threatened.
It's a sensitive subject. I get it.
Is it?
Because
it's sensitive for men. It's not sensitive for women.
It's a sensitive subject for men and women because you're talking about someone's emotions.
Yeah.
Emotions are a sensitive thing.
Yeah.
And based on how one reacts to that person's emotions is going to determine how that person acts with them. So it's a sensitive situation for both of them.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously the women in the situation are having to handle it in a sensitive way.
Yeah.
So it is a sensitive situation for them as well.
Yeah.
I
mean, listen, in a perfect world, I would love to just be like, listen, I'm not interested in you.
Yeah.
I think you're cool. If they do think they're cool. But I don't see this going anywhere. I myself have done that in the past. I have been like, yo, listen, we went on a couple dates. You're cool. I don't see myself dating you any further, though.
You know what should exist, right? Tell me what you think about this.
Okay.
Right? What do you think about, and this is for lack of a better term. There could probably be a better term for this, but I'm going to use this term. Like a social credit score on advancing on women, right? So let's just say, and I'm making this up. This is the beta version of this, right?
Mm-hmm.
So let's just say we have an app, right? Like, I like you. I think that you're cute. I say, hey, can you scan your phone on my phone, right? So you have the option on your phone to whether say that you like me or you don't, right? But because you scan my phone, now you have all my information. So if I act in an ill way with you, you can report me, and then therefore it lowers my social credit score.
Holy fuck. That is actually the scariest shit that
right?
I've ever heard.
But it takes me, I have to hold my phone up and you have to actively scan my phone. So I have to engage with you first.
I actually think that there's actually something like this in the works right now in China. They have
they've got social credit scores, right? So where like the government, they watch you, and if you like jaywalk,
it lowers your social credit score.
and all of a sudden you can't.
And you need credits to get into certain establishments.
Yes, exactly.
I know, but you're just talking about.
I'm referring to just interactions between men and women, and that in the initial interaction, a man has to scan.
Ladies, I would love to know what you think about this. Should a man, and maybe it could be somehow incorporated to dating apps. You can see if they went out on other dates and the reviews that women have left on them.
There you go.
And vice versa.
Yeah.
Right? Wouldn't that be kind of cool?
Yeah.
I'm going to say that we said that here first on Shit Talk Fridays, because if I see this shit happen and we don't we don't get paid, I'm going to be pissed. But that actually wraps up our show for today. I want to wish everybody a happy Friday. I hope everybody has a great fucking weekend. I'm going hiking this weekend. I'm really excited about that.
Yes, it sounds dope.
Yeah. And until next Friday, everybody, peace out.
Peace out.